Here we go, turn 7. It's January of 1915, and the Austrians basically advanced about as far as they can go. Their supply line goes to here, and so you can, during the snow events, you can only go out to 3 hexes. So basically the Austrians are stuck. They can't advance any farther here. They can advance to here and then go out 3 hexes away, but they decide not to do any combat this turn. They're just building up their forces again and going for the big push. The Germans had a bunch of new recruits coming in from mobilization, and they rebuilt some troops, and they basically formed a line, defensive perimeter here on the said, well, enough's enough. We need troops over there to protect from the invasion of the Russians, because the Russians had some major successes by taking out a fort, and they are in German territory, so it has to, well, it's kind of an eye-opener for the German high command, so they rushed a bunch of troops to the front. And over here, we got some Austrians slowly moving down the rail line right here, but you can only advance the rail line by 1, and you got a movement of 2, so it's like move 2 and then move the rail line. So slowly but surely, they're going to get there. They took their reinforcements that came in this turn from mobilization and railed them down into Serbia. But, you can see the Serbs are pretty much dug in pretty good. They can start actually entrenching this turn. So they'll probably entrench. Over here on the Western Front, the Germans did have some success, and sort of minor success. The minor success was right here. They attacked right here and had a no decision, so both sides have to lose a unit. The Germans take their best unit, and the defender has to equal the loss of attack strength, so which was 6. So they had to remove 1 unit defensive factor, so they lost one of those guys. But the line held there. The line got smashed over here. There was a 3 army groups right here versus this 1 French unit that was there. They smashed across and just obliterated them. It was, I think, a roll of 10. -1, and ended up becoming 9, which the defender eliminated. And I just crushed the unit there, and they advanced into that zone. And then the British got attacked. It was these 2 German army groups right here attacked the British that were here and got a defender demoralized, and the Brits retreated, and the Germans followed up behind them into this hex that they were sitting on. But it was, other than the 1 crushing defeat right here, the Western Front still holding, but the Germans are slowly clawing their way into France. It's sort of a losing proposition for the French right now, because the number of units they lose equals what they're replacing, so it's kind of hurting them. They're slowly losing their front lines, while the Germans have they can replace better troops and throw them right back into the line again. And it's like shift troops around and do attacks. And then they rebuilt over there on the Eastern Front. So the Germans are looking halfway decent at the moment. The French are getting shaky, but they do have some more troops. You can see them in the background being built. Reinforcements are showing up, so they can throw some troops into the line again and shore things up as a stopgap measure. That's pretty much what's happening with the French. They're just throwing troops into the... If you get a turn where their mobilization doesn't happen, where they don't have troops to mobilize that bring them to the front in addition to the replacement pool, it's one of those turns where if the attacks where the Germans attack and have a lot of successes, that's what cracks the French. From my personal experience from playing like Guns of August and that kind of, and the last time I played this game. So Russians, basically all they got to do is hold out. attack when they can, put pressure on the Germans, and right now they're rebuilding themselves. They got a lot of dead there. So, all right. Hope you guys like that turn, and we'll be back. Well, howdy everybody. Here we got turn 7 and the Allied powers turn. On the Eastern Front, well, the Russians went on the offensive. It's the Winter War. They attacked here against these guys. They had attacked go across the border here and demoralized this unit here, kicked them back. They had a big attack right here on this unit that was here and kicked them back. They're disrupted. Now the big here was like a big 3-to-1 attack that hit this unit right here, the Germans, and well, they eliminated him. So this unit was wiped out. So the Germans took some casualties this turn. The Austrians, all they did was have a bunch of disrupted units. So that's what happened on the Eastern Front. Everything is frozen. It's a frozen tundra. So that's when the Russians attack, I guess. And over here, the Serbians are building up their forces. They almost built half their army back up already. Just because, blame it on the Russians. Because the Russians attacked and pulled troops out. This is a record for me. I don't think I've ever seen Serbians make it to 1915, let alone it's February 1915 and they're still around. So that's kind of interesting. And okay, over here on the Western Front, the British are holding strong, except for here. They did get attacked the previous turn, and their disrupted unit is right there, so that's going to be removed. So that's going away. So that's gone. So they're back in action, but there was a French unit right here that got, or was it here? I think it was there. Anyway, there was an attack that won, the French attack, oh no, wait a minute. There was a German unit, I think, that was here. And then the French attacked, and it was an exchange. So the end result was we got a big hole in the line right there that hasn't been filled. So that was the extent of the French. They decided to try to push these guys back across towards the border and failed and were eliminated. And I think it was a half exchange, if I remember right. So that's why they still got some French left, but there was a bunch of dead Germans there. So the end result is the German pile is pretty big. The French pile is really big. You can see the piles here. Lots of Germans. The Austrians are pretty much recovered. They have a few more units to bring back. If they don't lose any more troops, they'll be back in 3 turns completely. The French have a lot of pile, and the Russians are making headway and bringing their armies back. They've had some good success. So at the end of turn 7, January 1915, we got some success with the Russians. They're pushing the Central Power troops back, but there was a lot of the Western Front is a bloody mess. People are dying in droves. So you can see it's just what used to be there on that front is no more. It's like even the Germans are having a hard time this time slugging it through France. I think the last time I played this, they just obliterated the French in a bunch of lucky die rolls. Not this time. This is turning into what I consider the typical war. This may, if France falls at all, it might not be till 1916. The right things are going. All right. So we'll be back with the results. I think I have to make some. Let me look here. Look in the book. look here. We have some varied entry every 3 months. So we had November, so December, January, February. Yeah, we got to make a die roll for the Ottoman Empire. Every 6 months, so it's not till May, I think. We have to worry about the Italians. Not till April for the Bulgarians. The Romanians, not till February. Greece is in June of 16. The United States is in April. So we could see the United States in April, so it is possible. Alright, so don't have to worry about anybody but the Ottoman Empire. Join the Central Powers on a 6 or more dice roll modifiers. For each us, no minuses there, +1 except for Lutz. So there's no plus or minus. And Bulgaria hasn't entered the war yet, so it's just a straight up die roll. And I need, what's that, a 6 or more? Looks like the Ottomans have joined the war. Alright. Okay, so that is it. That's just to let you know what's happening. That the Ottomans are now in the war. Alright, we'll be back.